things are going right for Shopify. The environment's hard to understand. Is there something specific that Shopify is doing better or well in that environment?
I think so. I think absolutely. So first and foremost, I think we've earned the trust of millions of merchants and business all over the world. We announced, a month or so ago, I announced that we have now powered over $1 trillion with a T in cumulative GMV since our inception, which for us is really incredible. But I think we're not just helping merchants compete. I think we're propelling them to victory. And in terms of how Shopify is doing, in particular, I think these results demonstrate that we can create this serious combination of both growth and profitability. When you exclude the sale of logistics, revenue is up 25% for the quarter to $2 billion.
Yes.
That's our 5th consecutive quarter of at least 25% top line growth. When you look at free cash flow, our free cash flow margin more than doubled from last year, from 6% to 16%. Now, in terms of sort of the more macro, sort of macro question that you're asking, look, from our vantage point, I'm hearing from other companies what you're hearing as well. But from our vantage point, our merchants, the merchants on Shopify, are outperforming others in the market. They're growing at healthy rates. We're adding more merchants every day, and I think as a result, we're gaining more market share.
Harley, real quick, I just want to jump in because it
Sure.
did go well for you in the quarter. You've kind of been suffering from slowing growth in prior quarters, and your emphasis was on marketing, but something jumped out. You talked about a partnership with a social media platform that really helped out. What platform was that? What were the specifics around that as a catalyst for you?
Yeah, I mean, the truth is, the way that we think about marketing is the same way we think about product, Ed. We don't necessarily, it's all about data. And so when we see a particular marketing opportunity, we take that opportunity. And the way that we think about all our marketing channels is these are levers. So in Q1, we did an experiment with a new emerging marketing channel, emerging social platform. We put some money to work. We saw a great return. We doubled that in Q2, and we saw about a 51% increase in new merchants from that channel. At the same time, we saw other channels that historically did perform well not perform as well, and so we pulled back on it. But the way that we think about our marketing is as this incredible data-driven engine that allows us to not just focus on SMBs in English-speaking countries, but you think about our point-of-sale business, our B2B business, our international business. We're able to deploy capital to have the highest return on those investments, all within an 18-month average payback. And that's the sophistication that we've built into the growth levers of Shopify.
So which big social platform was it?
We don't go into specifics on that. It's just an example of something that we're constantly experimenting with. There's not that many emerging social platforms, so I'm sure you can figure out which one. But the point actually that we want investors, we want the street to take away is that we are always looking for new ways to grow the business. And again, 5 consecutive quarters of above 25% top line growth while being profitable. There's not too many companies that can do that at our size and grow their market share. And I think this is the best version of Shopify you're seeing right now.
I've spoken to so many businesses, small and slightly bigger, that use Shopify. I get the benefit of it. So this is about discoverability, right? Adding new merchants or markets to your platform. But let's do the math. If we won't name the social platform, what ballpark was the spend? Because the return on that campaign seems to have been very definitive in the quarter.
Well, think about this. When we started we've been public now for just over 9 years. Initially, we were focused on e-commerce for SMBs in very specific regions. We now have a point-of-sale offering that surpassed $100 billion in GMV. International, for example, over 50% of merchants that joined in Q2 on Shopify were from outside our core English-speaking countries. 2 years ago, we didn't have a B2B product, and this past quarter, B2B GMV grew 140% year on year. So it's not just getting more people to use Shopify, it's more people in more geographies to use different products, and that is leading to the growth that you're seeing at the same time as being focused on profitability.
Harley, we enter the summer months, and then we have the holiday season here in North America. Do you kind of market hard in the summer in the hopes of having business transaction later in the year? Real quick.
Look, I think the key is that I do think the holiday will be very good, but because we have so many different verticals of merchants, we have Figs doing scrubs and pet products from BarkBox, we have Nestle and Heinz and Mattel and Staples all using Shopify. We're not relying on one particular type of merchant, but I think that merchants that are on Shopify are doing disproportionately well.